Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get back on the channel. Perry, the Promise Howe. Always good to get him on. He's currently, 5 wins with 16 defeats with 1 draw, 1 win by KO. And he's fighting at your call, Bethnal Green, next Saturday, I believe it is, against Will Hamilton on a Queensbury show. So we'll get on to that one in a bit. But yes, pleasure getting you on, Perry, as always.
Yeah, nice to catch up with you, Sam. How you
Always.
doing, Paul?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Good.
You?
Yes, but I'm a busy boy, busy boy.
Yeah, you've had 3 fights since we've last spoken, so
Yeah.
we'll talk a bit about those fights. Of course, you fought. You had the local derby fight with Sheldon McDonald.
Oh,
Um,
yes,
talk about that one. Of course, you did get stopped in the 6th round. Talk
I
about the
did.
fight
Yeah,
though.
yeah. No, it were. I think we took that on 4 days' notice, 3 days' notice, or something. It was one of those. Obviously, me and Sheldon had done a big build up to that fight previously for a GBM card, and it fell through because of my issues with my brain stuff and that. So I thought that fight was dead in the water. And then 4 days before Sheldon was scheduled to box, his opponent dropped out, and we got the phone call. So obviously, I jumped straight in. It were on my doorstep here in Sheffield. Sort about 20 tickets, just last minute, just to take a bit of a fun with me. 'Cause it literally up road from my house. I thought, well, there's no on telly. We'll go and have a go. Turned up, went 6 rounds, and he got me out of there. Fair play to him. He caught me with a good double up combo. When I watched it back, it like say I remember my team saying to me the 6th round, they believed I was down on the points and they just wanted me to get home safe. And in my head, I weren't bothered. I knew it was Sheffield Derby. I wanted to have a bit of a go, so it were
You
either
did in
me
the
or him.
first two. You did in the first 2 rounds, though, didn't you?
What's that?
You put it on him the first
Yeah,
couple
well,
rounds.
well, this for it. I set a pace where I really didn't have anything to lose. Like I don't think anyone expected me to win anyway, but I wanted to just have an entertaining fight for my fans, and I do believe we did that. So the fact where that 6th round, I could have got on the back foot and got out of the way and just stayed out his way, seen the rounds out, let the scores decide. But it were a Sheffield derby. I let the occasion get to my head, and I thought, yeah, come on, let's have a go. And in Sheldon's defence, he's an absolute gentleman out of the ring. So obviously, in between all the build up to the fights, we've never really had any beef. He's a good lad.
Mhm.
I've seen he's on for the cruiser weight Central Area
I was going
title
to
with
ask you
Nathan
about
Quallen.
that against Nathan Callers, and
Yeah,
you've fought both. What's your
I
thoughts
have.
on that fight?
Well, it was kind of expected. I believed it were going to be Sheldon and Nathan, or Sheldon and possibly Sonny Taylor. So it were definitely one of the pool that I have had. But obviously, when I've seen that fight announced, I've got to back the Sheffield lad. No disrespect to Nathan, he's a nice lad as well. But I believe, obviously, did you watch the fight with Nathan Quarlos?
Yeah. I
Uh,
remember we spoke about that, and that was quite a close fight, in my opinion. I remember saying that to you.
Yeah, well, I felt in control in that fight. I don't feel like I was losing as much as the judges made out. Obviously, the
Didn't he break his
knockdown,
hand though? Didn't he?
yeah, I think he broke his arm or something. But he's it was one of those. He didn't really turn up. So obviously, on the two comparisons I've got, Sheldon put me down fair and square. I don't believe Nathan Quarlos did. Obviously, got a standing 8 against me, but
Mm,
it were a trip in my opinion.
yeah.
So it wasn't a proper knockout. My gut has to tell me the Sheffield lad's going to bring that belt back to Sheffield, and obviously, as a friend, I am going to be rooting for him to do so. So no disrespect, Nathan, but Sheldon's got that Central Area title with his name on it already.
I mean, yeah. Other than that knockdown, it would have been a draw. And in my opinion, as you said, that knockdown was, uh, I not the scorecard didn't have that, but I had it, a draw without the
Yeah,
knockdown. Of course, I had to count it because it got scored a
yeah,
knockdown. But other than that, I thought you could have actually had a draw in that fight. But you know how it
yeah.
goes on the road, it doesn't really
That's
go
it.
that way.
that's it, mate. There were no love lost with me. Obviously, Nathan's going on now to challenge for the central area. That I know my role in this sport, so
I think
I'll.
that'd be a good fight though, Envy Sheldon.
Yeah, I do. If they're both fit, it will be entertaining because I believe it's up at Bolton as well. So I think it's on neutralish ground. So hopefully Sheldon takes a big crowd win from Sheffield and Nathan does from Liverpool, and it'll be a good night for everyone involved.
Maybe you might fight on the card as well, so you get a free
Well,
ticket
yeah,
for that.
that's it. Keep me updated, guys. Any cruiserweights out there? I might take the trip up to Bolton for that one.
Yeah, but that makes for a good fight. And then you fought in Oldham. It was Oldham Leisure Centre.
Yeah,
You fought Francis Kershaw over 6 rounds, and it was 60-54.
yeah. Francis, nice lad as well. I'd just come back off me jollies. It was my first job back into work. I didn't really know what to expect with him. Um, I quite enjoyed that fight. There wasn't anything too testing from the fight I'd had previous with Sheldon. That were all out war from the start,
Mm,
and the one with Francis was a bit more
technical.
technical, bit slower pace. And I did see a lot of his shots coming from quite a mile. I even advised him on that after the fight. I know he won it, but just giving him a bit of expertise. He needs to throw them ups in a bit quicker. I was seeing him quite a thing. We're having a bit of a dance about the ring, had a few twirls and that in there. But it was all part of the game, and obviously Francis has gone on and got the win, done what he's done.
Do you feel like you deserve to get at least 1 round, or do you agree with the card 60-50?
Well, I watched the fight back. I was smiling to myself. There were times in the fight where I thought I was in control more than the scores were saying. I was laughing in the sixth round because if you watch the last 10 seconds, I decided to put him on the ropes. I thought I was going to chuck him over at ropes at one point with a shot. So yeah, I do think the sixth round was mine. But yeah, I didn't really complain with the scorecards. We both went home safe, didn't we? So
Yeah, exactly that. And then yeah, how many weeks' notice did you get for that David Jameson fight in Glasgow?
exactly 7 days. So just 1 week. So I was sat in on the Saturday night. I believe the boxer show was on down at Crystal
Sellers
Palace.
Park.
Yeah, which Toby Bermira nicked job off me there. He got that one. So we were supposed to be going down for that. I literally were about to book train tickets and they pulled it last minute. I found out Toby was in, so obviously I
Mm,
speak to Toby behind the scenes. He's a nice
yeah,
kid anyway.
he is, yeah.
So we were having a laugh about that. But literally, as that show was on, I got the message off the promoter for David Jameson. Got told it'd be 14 stone 4. Then as the week went on, got told he was coming in at 15 stone. Turned up for the weigh-in and he was more mere 17 and a half stone. So I was a bit like, oh wow. So obviously we travelled all the way up to Glasgow.
Yeah.
Sam Kynock, the promoter up there, absolute nice bloke. He'd the show was falling apart. I think they were down to 4 fights, and if me and David weren't to fight, I think the show would have been pulled. So we had a bit of a talk, and I decided to go ahead with the fight and just see how we got on. David and his wife, to be fair, I met both of them before the fight. Absolute pleasure to work with. Nicest gentleman in the world. So for such a big, heavy lump of a man, he's absolutely one of the nicest men I've ever met, to be fair. So I didn't mind entertaining the fight and going in and having a go. When I actually did get in there and felt his power, I realised it was a bit too much. I think he caught me early on, and I took a knee to get my thoughts together. And then by the time I'd gone back at the end of the third round, I just knew his power was just too phenomenal. It hurt me in the rib shots, side of the neck, and I all I could think was they weren't going to be any good coming from this. So I used my brain and obviously told me trainer I was in a bit of trouble, and we got out of there.
Yeah, I mean,
So
no shame in that though. I mean, he's challenged for the British, hasn't he, a couple of times?
Yeah, yeah. He's an like I say, he's an absolute top class operator. I knew that when I was getting in with him, and I thought when I was getting in with him at 14 stone 4, even 15 stone, I knew we were going to be an hard night's work.
So was
But
the fight practically a heavyweight fight?
yeah, yeah, I believe it were. Yeah, so I think on the scales day before, I come in 14 stone 12, and I think David was 16 plus stone or something. And obviously, I'd been building the weight up to get to that weight. It was just one of those. It were. I think David had been training two fighting heavyweight, and then the replacement fighter fell through, and last minute I got the call. There was a bit of lack of comms on the weight, but fighters fight, and I was there, so I thought, yeah, we'll have a go. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I can't take it away from David. He's going to go on to do big things. He is. I know he's already done it, but he's coming back up. Obviously, I've been a bit of a gap on the way there, and I think he's going to go on to do good things for Scotland. So,
Yeah, I believe so as well because he's fought for the British, I think, twice against, or no, once against Lowell, and he fought
yeah.
Chef Clark as well, and that was a good fight as well that he had with Lowell and Clark.
Yeah, definitely. My personal opinion is I look at the size of him now, and for him to make 14 stone 4, I do think he'll struggle.
Do you think he
If
should go to heavyweight maybe?
possibly, I think if he gets down to 14 stone 4, he'll be an absolute machine at it. I don't think there's many. He'll be top five, easy, top five. So he could do it, but if he's struggling with the weight and he fancies himself campaigning at ever, I think he could do all right with that as well because he has got the power to do it. To be fair.
Mm. And how was the experience fighting in Glasgow?
Oh, amazing! I've got a lot of time for the Scottish people, so I quite enjoyed my time up there. I've got a lot of friends who were Scottish with me, all forces background and stuff. So I do know a lot of people up that way anyway. And then I also, what were nice was I met a couple in a beef a couple of weeks before, and they were from Glasgow, and they ended up coming down to the show to support us. So even all the way up in Glasgow, we had the Promise Army there coming to watch us do the business. So, and thanks to Sam and the promotions, because we took the fight, obviously he enabled them the VIPs and stuff, and they got a nice three-course meal and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, pleasure to work with, and everybody up there was really respectful as well. All David's camp, all David's fans, and obviously everybody at the show. Just absolute pleasure to be around. So it's good working practice.
hmm And of course, before we get into the Will Hamilton fight, of course, you was meant to be boxing. I believe it was last weekend or the week before. You was meant to be
Yeah.
fighting Lee Roberts. What happened with that fight?
Yes. Oh, we had a nightmare, Sam. So I believe that fight was scheduled. It's been scheduled a few times and it's fallen through for various reasons. Their
Laura
side.
Trot show, wasn't it, in June?
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe it was carried over from that show. Now we actually don't know the ins and outs fully. So I can't really comment on it, but I
Mm.
believe there was a lack of communications their side, and I don't think everybody was on the full page on what was happening. But we got told that the fight was on, and it was going to be down in obviously Tolsworth, where I met you before. So we turned up, and as we were about to weigh in, no sign of Lee. Now I don't think Lee's had anything to do with this himself. I don't think he's intentionally not turned up. I think there's been some miscommunications and a few things happening behind the scenes out of his control. But obviously, rather frustrating for me and my team who have turned up to do our job, and we've had to do the 11-hour round trip back
Mm.
home without no fight. So it were a bit frustrating.
Bit of a kick in the teeth, but I mean,
Yeah,
no,
life
Lee.
of a road warrior. Eh?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But you've got this opportunity. How did this fight come about? Will Hamilton.
So I think about 2 days ago, my manager Rob rang me, just says, "Do you fancy fighting down at York Hall on the 17th?" And I instantly agreed to it. I didn't even ask no questions who the opponent were or anything. I just went,
Mm.
"Yeah, I've always wanted to box at York Hall." I seen it's a Queensbury card as well, so that's going to be a first for me. So that's quite a good experience to kick off. I've already boxed on the zone. So obviously now I'm going to be boxing on a Queensbury card.
TNT,
So
hopefully.
yeah, it'd be nice, won't it? So I'm not sure on the TV coverage. I don't know who's doing it, but
Mm.
we'll see what's what. But yeah, I haven't really done much research on Will Hamilton. I've seen he's had 5 wins, 3 KOs. So we'll not make that 6 wins, or shall we say, not make that 4 KOs, because I've got a job booked in 2 weeks' time here on my doorstep.
Oh yeah. That against Brandon Pickup.
Jake Paul. It looks like Jake Paul from Wish. Jokes aside, I've never met the lad. It's only teasing him, but he does look. When someone first showed me a picture of him, he does look like Jake Paul. I can't stand Jake Paul, Sam. But obviously, I'm not holding that against Brandon. Just because his similarity looks at him, he might be a really nice lad. To be fair, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, and how does it feel, being you'll be boxing on a Queensbury show?
yeah, I just feel blessed, Sam. Obviously, when you watch this sport as a kid and you watch the big fights and they're on the Frank Warren cards and they're on the Eddie Hearn cards and stuff, you're obviously, when I turn professional, that's where you aspire to be. So obviously, I'm gonna get my chance now.
Well, you tell him after the fight and you say you need to get me on one of these Saudi shows now.
Oh, that's it. They want to get me out in Saudi. I'll have a go on Tommy Fury. I'll have a go on Roman Fury. They can line me up with anyone, and I'll jump in and have a go.
100%. Yeah, because Will Hamilton, I believe, he's trained at the I can't say it, but he's trained with Eddie Lamb, I believe,
Oh
but yeah, Will Hamilton's fought Toby Vermeer. I think he fought him in February, and he fought. I think he also fought Ryan LeBourne as well.
yeah, yeah,
They're the two
yeah,
of the top of my head, but I can't remember who else.
yeah. Well, I finally got to meet Ryan the other day because I've not met him as paths and cross yet, but he was down at Tolsworth because he was on the Tolsworth show.
Yeah,
So
against
I was speaking to
Harvey
Ryan.
Dykes.
Yeah, that were it. Yeah, so I spoke to Ryan, and I speak to Toby a lot on the socials and that. He's a nice kid, so we all talk to each other anyway. But um, yeah, it'd be nice. And I offered Toby, but that Brandon fight, he's on about coming to watch that. I said he could come and stay at my house. So save him on hotel if he wants to.
Yeah. Yeah, so how you and of course, you mentioned that you said a lot you would entertain a fight with Alois Jr. Of course, he's on that card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um he's fighting, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's fighting for his first title.
I think so. Is it top of the bill? That I think. Yeah,
No, that's I believe that'll probably be Co-Main and Denzel Bentley's headline.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah. That's it. See, yeah, I'm not new on the card. I haven't even checked it out yet, to be fair, but I knew we were on there somewhere. Yeah. But yeah. Like, obviously, if my service were ever required against him, I'd have a go at that as well, wouldn't I? So this is the thing. Some fighters fight. I'm quite happy to obviously put my name out there to get him with the best of them, and I'd quite happily have a go. Anyone who wants to go, mate. This is it. This is what I'm in the sport to do. I'm here to fight.
And yeah, of course, you want to impress the people around Queensbury because you want to, start to get on more of those shows.
Yeah, well,
You
this is it.
you
You know,
tick off you've ticked off the zone. That's one tick in the box,
yeah,
and a Queensbury show, and of course your call is what many world champions in the past and many great fighters have boxed there as well in the past. It's a
that's
very
it.
iconic venue.
Yeah, well, this is it. If I do my job all right, I might get invited back, minor. So that's it. So hopefully my services will be required again.
Yeah. What do you know about Will Hamilton? Have you watched him fight?
I think I caught the Toby Vermeer fight. I have seen that. I think he stops him in the second, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching it and I just thought, yeah, he's obviously got some power. But no disrespect to him. I don't think there's anything I've not seen before either. You've seen the clientele I've been hanging around with, Sam. I've been in with some big boys. What's your thoughts on him?
I think he's a very good at fighter.
Yeah, I watched him. He's quite composed, and then he does his flurries and he picks his shots, and
Yeah.
he does look focused. So I'm not underestimating him. And yeah, I'll get in there and just work him out and do what I have to do.
Isn't it 6 rounds this fight?
Yeah, I believe it's 6 rounds, and I don't think he's done 6 rounds yet, has he? I don't think he's completed 6 rounds.
No, I don't think
So,
so.
so he's got them all out of here too early.
And then you've
So
got Brandon. I think that's 4 rounds, that one.
yeah, that's just a 4 rounder, that one. Yeah,
Ah, good
Mhm.
stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, as always, before I let you go, I'll let you shout out whoever you want as always.
Oh, but big up, Sam. Well, obviously, I'd like to thank my family, my friends, all the Promise Army, all my sponsors. I'm not going to list them all because there's too many, isn't there? But they all know who they are. Everybody knows who helps me out there. Want to thank all my team at Riley's Boxing Fitness Centre. Obviously, my manager, Rob Riley, who's creating all these opportunities for me, working alongside all these other promoters and matchmakers to get me the fights. And yeah, I'm just a lad out there making the most of the position I'm in. Been in this game 5 years now, Sam. 5 year coming up, and I'm quite proud of what I've achieved. A lot would look at my record and say, "Well, you haven't really achieved anything."
I mean,
But as we know,
you've won a title. You've
yeah,
boxed on DAZN. You know
that's it.
you're traveling all around the country most weekends fighting the best prospects out there at the minute.
This is it, Sam. You understand it, mate, and this is it. I can look back when I'm older and say, "I've been there, done that." So yeah, I'll just take every fight as it comes going forward. I'm not mentioning a retirement date as such yet because we just take it fight by fight. And the whole time I'm enjoying it and feel able to do what I'm doing, I'm going to carry on doing it.
Yeah, see how many fights you can do.
That's it. I wouldn't mind trying to get 30 in before Christmas. I think I'm on, what am I on now? 22, 23.
What? So you fancy maybe 5 more, maybe 4 more?
This side of Christmas, that'd be nice. And then I've got a nice late honeymoon to Jamaica with the wife. And I'll have a bit of rest and I'll come back and see how I feel. And then we'll go again next year.
Yeah,
Maybe get it to 40, 50.
hopefully, mate. So
That's it.
you've got these 2 fights booked in, haven't you? And
Yeah.
then have you got any more or just these 2 at the minute?
There's nothing concrete. September's looking, I believe there's a few opportunities coming in September. I just need the full confirmation of my management and those involved that happen. So I'll not say no names just yet, just in case they fall through.
Yeah,
But obviously, if I get through these next 2 fights, all right, and I'm fit and able to, September, matchmakers know where we are. Give Rob Riley a call.
100%, mate. And yeah,
That's it.
from me as always, thank you for your time and good luck against Will Hamilton next week.
Respect, pal, and enjoy your holiday, Bobs.
Thank you, mate.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.